Yes.
When in
I
my
date to
relationship,
marry.
this is my husband,
Yes.
and I need you to have that reverence and that
Yes,
respect for
100,
him.
yes.
He's not your friend.
No.
And so you can't.
He will slap you silly.
He will slap you silly. Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of Genesis Wholeness Wellness. My name is Ginger in real life, your co-host. Of course, I am not alone. I am with
Noluthando Matanzela.
and we are the It Girls. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Who are just girls.
Just girls, we're very demure. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at _Genesis Wholeness Wellness. Don't forget to also listen to this podcast on Spotify. Please, I'm begging you.
Please, this is the third time
This is the last chance and then I'm finished. This is the last chance and then I'm finished. Please listen to the pod on Spotify. We are Genesis Wholeness Wellness, the podcast. You'll find past episodes on there as well as this episode that you are watching. Please listen to it in the car or something. Mame Lanchi sitting on my views over there. Thank you so much. Nolu, where can people find you?
Lu_Nsela.
Please, and that's on period. Please follow her.
Ngicela
Ube right. Thank you so much. Today we are talking about boundaries. What are boundaries? Cool. So I'm going to read a definition, right?
Yeah.
Of what boundaries are.
Yeah.
Boundaries are the lines and limits you create between yourself and other people. They allow you to define what is acceptable and healthy for you in your relationships. The boundaries you communicate and maintain can protect you both physically and psychologically, right? So I think we can maybe touch on a few friendship boundaries that we have, and then we can also touch on a few romantic boundaries that we have, right? Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Cool.
So a non-negotiable for me, right, is a safe space, right? So mina like umuntu okhuluma kakhulu. Like I'm an avid yapper.
Yeah.
I'm a yapper.
Yeah.
Okay. So like the way I yap, now sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, why did I say that?
You have oversharing regret.
Yeah, like why? But then I realize whenever I have that like oversharing or overshare drive, or I'm yapping, it's usually with people I feel comfortable with. Like subconsciously I'm comfortable with you. So if I overshare then I regret, it's usually because you're comfortable now, because I have noticed that if if I don't feel comfortable, I do sort of like hold back like a whole lot. Like I will hold back, right? Right. So for me, it's someone who I can feel comfortable with, right? Someone who I can communicate every single detail, like yonkinto to the T.
Yeah.
Like every single detail of my life, right? And also a space where I can even like communicate to you when I feel like you've wronged me.
Exactly.
I think that's very important to me. I literally wrote here in brackets, that's a very big important thing for me, right? Because in Matthew 18, right, 15 to 17, it reads as follows, right? If your brother or sister sins, right, go and point out their faults just between the two of you. If they listen to you, you have won them over. But if they will not listen, take one or two others along, right? So that every matter may be established by testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, right? But if they still refuse to listen, tell it to the church. Man, this is the third time.
Tell
it to the church. If they tell it to the church, and if they refuse to listen, even to the church, treat them as you would a pagan or a tax collector. And then also mention that a pagan were considered idolaters in Leviticus. If you read Leviticus, they were considered unclean, they were considered idolaters, and tax collectors are considered sinners, right, who are associated with corruption
and greed,
extortion, greed, basically outcasts. So when I think of that, I'm just like, it kind of like gives you permission to sort of say ngiyakhipha empilweni yami ngizame ngikutshelile ngabiza ama witness awu 2 or 3 ngatshela isonto
sengizamile
wena awuzwa so outcast wena sewuyiphegeni wena uyi-tax collector, so out of my life
sengi-right ngawe. That's true. I love that. My boundary is also similar to that, in that mina naturally I want to overshare. It's not even like a thing that I go into subconsciously. No. I want to overshare. I want to overshare. I want to tell you everything to the T. And so my boundary for me is definitely transparency. If I feel like you are not transparent with me, I don't feel like I can be transparent with you. That means I don't trust you, and I don't keep people I don't trust around me. I'm so sorry. I need to be able to seek wise counsel about anything and everything in my life.
100%.
If there ever comes a time where I feel like I need your advice about something, I don't think we are in a place that I would say Nolu is my friend. If I can't say, look, 1, 2, 3 is happening in my life, and for me to be completely honest in that as well, so that I also give you the opportunity to pour into me. Honestly, you can't pour into me even you know, if you're like, oh, how are things with your sister? That's not good. No, we're not okay. You know, we thought about 1, 2, 3. You could provide another perspective, maybe. Hey man, look, don't fight with your sister because of 1, 2, 3. Maybe this is what's 1, 2, 3.
100%.
You can even encourage in maybe let's sit down and talk. Do you guys need a mediator? I'm happy to like sort things out between you guys. I need that, like, so important in my life. So I even supported that verse, Proverbs 19:20. Proverbs 19:20 speaks about, listen to advice and accept instruction that you may gain wisdom in the future. So I can't listen to your advice if your advice is already placed wrongly. I'm transparent now. So you are already advising me on something that doesn't even exist. It's a hypothetical advice at this point. So what are we doing? I can't like advice on my hypothetical.
I'm a hypothesis.
I can't be honest with you because I feel like you're not honest with me. So if mina awungitshela indaba zakho anyeke siba bangani, mina ngidinga indaba zakho ke,
mina ngiyazithanda
ngidinga nje indaba zakho cutie. I need indaba zakho. So that's your first. That's me.
I also wrote here that it also, in terms of the safe space, right? It also can't be a space where it's too heavy all the time, or energy.
When we are again with that,
it's too much effort to be. It needs to be low effort, low maintenance, low,
cutesy,
cute, safe, where I'm feeling loved, cared for, and in those kind of settings, thrive again. Ngiyakhuluma overshare yabo like ngifila right, ngifila safe, ngifila loved.
And you also feel like that because people are pouring into you from a genuine place, and they can't pour into you from a genuine place if nje anikho safe, you don't feel safe to divulge indaba zakho, lo muntu nje awkward. That's just not cute. That's just not cute. That's bad. Anyway, so my second point is that and I actually learned this from you. I didn't know that this is a boundary I needed until you and I said Katla, like puzzle pieces. I don't keep people who speak negatively about my partner like around me. I don't do that anymore. And it's so easy to find yourself in a cycle where something bad happens, you tell your friend about it. And then your friend says, ain't no way. And then next time you have another problem. Once you start saying 2 or 3 statements, I start looking at you with binoculars. Like, I'm gonna keep them like this because when you don't have anything good to say, you don't have any good to pour into my relationship. I'm so sorry, I can't keep you around because Mina, I don't know about other people. I don't date men just to date men. When in my relationship, this is my husband, and I need you to have that reverence and that respect 100 for him. He's not your friend. And so you can't.
He will slap you silly.
He will slap you silly. So when every 2 seconds, lasha, I also end up feeling like all the good that my partner does, all the good that my partner is, I don't see it anymore because I'm constantly focused on his bad, divorce, or whatever, right? So
I definitely hear you with that. I also think that I saw somewhere where this guy says with him and his wife, right? They, whenever they have a fight, the five people that you would go to when you have a fight need to be people that would encourage you to
go back,
push you to go back, like push you to let's fix things with this person, right?
Exactly.
So if your friends are people who say, nah, throw that away, you can get a better one. That's not how things work.
Exactly.
That's not how we should be moving. I should be encouraging you, pushing you towards him, pushing you towards like sometimes literally Ginger will be like can I mention
yes.
Ginger will be like angifuni uyangidina what and I'll be like, no Ginger, like he's a good man, Savannah.
He's a good man, Savannah. I even remember this one time we were talking and then I was just like complaining again and you were like, I think you just need to take a nap. You were like, I think just take a nap and then you'll realize that it's not that bad. Or like sometimes when I'll say, you know, he didn't do 1, 2, 3, you'll be like, but he did 1, 2, 3.
Yes, like, exactly.
There's some good in
this. There's some good.
Like it's
there's
fixable.
Actually a time I remember Ginger came to my house, right? And she was so angry at her partner. She came and she's like, oh my gosh, like ngizokhuluma ngizoventa. Maka feel like uyaventa. Ngamyekela aventa.
Yeah, you
did.
Sure.
Ngavela ngathi basi ke ubuyele
wavela
waboreka uJinja waye ekhaya.
I was bored and guess what, mangisuka kini ngavele ngayindoda ngayolungisa izinto. That's what I needed. It's okay to complain and to vent and stuff, but akube ne solution right at the end. Hayi yonke into lahla
you deserve better. How about you don't?
No.
How about you deserve this good man?
How about this is my man? How about that?
How about that?
How about
this is your man?
He's not perfect, Marakota. Right. Yeah. And I get perfect. Nama perfect.
He's a good man, Savannah. I'll keep saying that.
300,000.
Exactly.
About me. He can say so many other things about me, but I didn't need that at all. So the Bible literally says life and death are in the power of the tongue, right? So if we're constantly talking about indaba zokulahla, vele that's what manifests, right? Like I said, you end up not even seeing the good that the person does. You just see negativity wire. So that also brings you to a point of, you know what, maybe Nolu is right. Maybe I should just leave this whole thing. Nothing is good. Everything is negative.
And I get over my dead body.
And sorry over my dead body. Over my dead body. Never that. And then I also
a disclaimer, I'm in no way saying stay in abusive relationships. Stay if Ginger comes to me and says bangitlapile, I will immediately tell her to leave. Like that, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if iyalungiseka ngizompusha back to ayilungise.
And that's the thing about relationships. Most things is iyalungiseka. Most things
everyday things.
They are fixable. It's very fixable unless it's like abuse or like sometimes even cheating. I go as far as
that's abuse.
Cheating it's just someone who's hindering your growth or your development.
He's oppressive,
he's a hater or whatever. Then those are
grounds, baby.
Definitely.
Those are grounds.
But most things are fixable. Like he didn't talk to you last night, and then what?
Did you die?
No,
you were fine.
Investigate further. Itsini indaba bese uyabona lapho ukuthi hayi man it's fixable mhlambe iphone ifile or njengayizolo nje ukhohle ukuthi good night this morning sengibona ukuthi sekuthiwe nje ngikhohle ukupress usend understand ngoba vele stay good night at 1 a.m. So it's just like it's irritating, sure, but it's definitely fixable, you know. And I also wanted to just throw in Philippians 4 verse 8 here, which says Philippians 4. I love it.
Love it.
Verse 8. Okay. Philippians 4 verse 8 says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Right? And then it goes on to say, what you have learned and received and seen in me, practice these things, the peace of God be with you.
Yes.
So the Bible literally instructs us, think of things that are honorable, true, just, pure, lovely, commendable. If there is any excellence and anything worthy of praise, think about this thing. Hayi njalo ucabanga negativity. And I mean, once waqala ungitshela ukuthi indoda yami injani, you are planting things that are the opposite of this in my mind,
yes.
and I don't need that.
Yeah.
Cut off fast. Once waqala ubheka indoda yami sideways, ungayi-respect indoda yami, ngi-out.
And your favorite thing to say is, if you in, if you out, out. So if siyacabanga and out and
in, definitely.
And if you out.
Yeah. Until you are out, then I'm gonna say vele bheka movie.
Yeah. And while you are in,
ngivele ngithi no, he's a good man. Savannah.
He's a good man.
I
want to hear
man.
Savannah.
I even remember this one time. It was actually recently. After the marathon, I texted you and I was like, "I'm still mad about 1, 2, 3." You know, and you were like going through something a little bit weird as well. And I was like, "How did you get to forgiveness?" And you were like, "No, just do 1, 2, 3." You know, like, have you spoken to him? Have you done 1, 2, 3? And I was
I kept saying, God, I remember kept saying,
and we kept saying, we kept singing because that's what we encourage. I 100%. Need people like that. Like, I love that reel that you referenced to. It's the first 5 people that you go to needs to be the people who push you back, push you towards your spouse. You know. So yes, hard boundary for me. Ang negotiate. Once I'm out. Deuces.
He'll slap you silly.
He's not your friend.
That segues me into my second for friends is complainer.
And I know this about you. I know this about you.
I absolutely hate people who complain. Like when viewer impilo as glass half empty.
Why?
When everything there is something you have to find. When there's nothing at all, nothing.
I remember even there was a person we were friends with. And we hung out, and after the hangout, you were like, I don't think I want to see this person again. And I was like, why? And you were like, she's always complaining. Nothing good comes out of her mouth. Everything is always sad. When she opens her mouth, it's a complaint. I can't do it.
I can't, because you bring us all down with you.
Group morale it's and it's necessary.
Lift the group average when we bring it down.
Thank you.
And another thing, right? I'm also thinking of the Israelites, right? And I imagined if the more they complained, the more they stayed in the wilderness. The more the wilderness was bad for them. The more they go bad. The more Unkulunkulu gave you guys manna. Provides water. Took you out of 400 years slavery. Nina, nothing good comes out of your mouth. I feel like complainers, you literally spit in God's face.
Damn.
Literally. Like, a complainer when
that's true.
To God.
And God has done so many wonderful things. I mentioned in our last episode, I even cried because God invented showers. I just felt so good after the shower. I said, wow. You gave someone the idea to tell humankind that we need to bath, guys. When you bath, you feel sweat, you feel okay. So there's always something good that God is doing, no matter how small.
Always, yes.
So when if you find yourself complaining, reevaluate perspective. But there's always something good. There's always something good.
There's always something good. And I also have here 1 Thessalonians 5. I think this is a very famous verse. Always be joyful. Never stop praying. Be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will. God's will.
This
for
is
those of you who belong to Christ. So this is God's will for us. So we be grateful. Cultivate thankfulness. Cultivate gratitude. Manje when I'm out lazy, complain.
You're not doing that. You're actually doing the opposite. Shoot, when you're wicked.
You're wicked and you're evil. You're an evildoer.
You're an evildoer. You're wicked. You can't complain why. Everything is bad. When a victim. Kanjani? Not just like mhlabeni mara njalo asithi ama victim. When a special kanjani ukuthi uyi victim njalo. Ngicela ungalingi usitake.
No palisa.
No. It can't be. Masabatha I never. I never. Okay, romantic boundaries, right? So my first romantic boundary is respecting each other's physical comfort levels. Is about understanding and honoring personal preferences and limits. It is an integral part of examples of boundaries in relationships, ensuring both partners feel safe and respected. PDA is not my favorite thing. Physical touch in general.
I'm dying.
The room is laughing. The room is laughing at me. I don't like to be touched. Don't touch me. Why didn't you say that?
I'm so sorry. I wouldn't say.
I don't like to be touched. Do not touch me with your filthy hands.
Off of me.
So I wrote that physical touch in general is not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And having a partner who knows and respects that is extremely important to me. Again, I say, if you are bending with so much passion that you want to put your paws on me, fucking that.
Simple. Quick math.
Are you going?
Because
Because I would rather people in the mall say, oh my gosh, yeah, married couples are so over the top. Then I'm a boyfriend and girlfriend.
ngikutshelile ukuthi ungalinge uthi boyfriend and girlfriend ngizokhala.
That is so scary to me. I don't want that. Please don't touch me.
Yeah.
I don't like physical touch, but I'm obviously willing to compromise in my relationship, right?
100%.
Maybe I can hold hands.
Yeah.
I can do that in public.
Yeah.
I
can also definitely
maybe around in the corners on the escalator in the lift,
can hold hands.
You know, we can one little peg. Mara ungalinge ungibambe ngelanzo phambi kwabantu
or ungithi.
That one is worse.
Yeah, I'll scroll
my behind. I'll scroll in public and I'll shrivel up and turn into dust.
Yeah.
And I will go back to the way God made me, into the ground.
Yeah.
So please, ngicela ungangenzeli izinto ezisnaksi. Ngicela ungishade mhlambe ngizokubamba ngilamzanyana in the lift mara not in the mall. Thank you so much.
I definitely hear you with that. I also think like men that are forceful in their nature to touch you, or that's giving rapey.
Oh my God.
So you wouldn't be safe in a marriage setting with that kind of person. If anything,
you said what you said. That's the thing.
Sing shilo, and if he's gonna do that rapey thing.
Yeah.
Uzogcina sekakrepile ushadile.
Stay away.
Umuntu
okuforstayo.
Stay away. My first one is conflict resolution. Like, does the person take accountability for their part, right? And also, like, you know how when you fight now with someone, in as much as maybe I could be wrong, but it doesn't mean that the things that you said didn't hurt me. So also understanding that, like, like I'm sorry, you also have to say sorry for some of the things you said, you know, and all of that. And another thing that I absolutely hate, right, is someone who swears at me and someone who's disrespectful towards me, right? Mina, I instantly sesisuka kunkinga sesidiscussa ukuthi wena ungithukile.
Angisadiscuss mina
wena sungidelelile,
like ungidelele beyond
wena
siyathukana.
Ungalinge nje ungidakele, please. I'm so sorry to say this, but ungalinge ungidakele. Like, the minute you swear at me, all respect gets out of the window. Now we are back to level ground. Ngizokudelela back.
And then if you swear even in my direction,
even in my direction, by that I mean, like, it doesn't have to be to me,
or at you,
in my direction,
now
in my vicinity.
I irritated you when I would F word, no,
or S word. Sengiyekile mina ungangidakele. And a classic example, mina ngithanda ama biblical examples, right? Proverbs 15 verse 1. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. So when if uyangidakela mina ngizokwata, ngizostera up anger.
Bese sikeliwe manje it's war.
And
there's no going back.
There's no going
back.
And wavula loyo mnyango wokuthukana,
you can't close it again.
When mina kahle Jesus died on the cross for my sins. That's why ngizama ukuba a better person. But see ungangithuki
uye kusathana kusebenzisa to drag me back. Shuthi kahle kimi shuthi sekuphelile vele, there's nothing left.
Ungangithuki.
There's nothing left.
Don't
once sathukana. No. And then my final boundary is setting boundaries around family interactions. If you cannot tell your mother or your father or your sister or your brother no regarding anything to do with our relationship, then it's charged. I'm done with you. I've seen how things work out when you allow the family to enter into your relationship and dictate how things work, and that's not cute. The Bible also reminds us that a man will leave his mother and his father's house and cleave unto his wife. In Genesis 2 verse 24. Jesus later repeats this Paul later repeats this in Matthew 9 verse 5. We also read another Bible verse in Philippians somewhere.
Yeah.
Was it Philippians?
Yeah.
That literally, Ephesians 5.
Yeah.
That said, because a man leaves his mother and his father's house and cleaves to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Manje why says 3 fleshy, 2 fleshy, 4 fleshy,
plus 4,
5
plus
fleshy. Ngoba nje umama
plus-
wakho uphakathi la. I'm so sorry. For me, it's definitely something that's triggering, and it's a non-negotiable for me, because in my own parents' relationship, like, that was literally the crumbling, stumbling block. That's where everything
crumbled and fell apart.
As soon as my mom started saying, hey, what about paying rent today? And my dad says, no, but my mother.
Hey.
What about the kids? But it's Christmas. No, but my sister.
Hey.
When you can't sleep at home anymore because your aunt will call you in the middle of the night, come pick me up, guy. When you leave your house that you're supposed to be protecting as the leader and the head of that house, and you go out into the wilderness, leaving your house and your children and your wife vulnerable because of your aunt, because of your mother, because of your sister, because of your brother. It's so charged.
Yeah,
it only takes one time.
Yeah.
One time. If you ever put your family, and I don't care who it is, if you ever put anybody in your family above myself, angifuni ukuxoxa because sengiyazi protector from i-trauma eningi, and manje sengiprotector even my kids from i-trauma eningi. I would rather see civil after that than for me to build up all that resentment and blame your family. Maybe they are the reason our marriage is the way it is, or they are the reason my kids are hungry, they are the reason my kids and I are vulnerable at night because he's out serving his family. I'm so sorry. Cut,
snip. 100% agree with you.
100%
same. My one is it's a short one. Using things I tell you in confidence and when I need counsel as a weapon. Yeah. That's it. I don't have to explain it further.
Oh my God.
You jealous something in counsel when I need it, and then when we have a fight, when you bring that thing up.
Oh my God.
I'm not safe with you.
If you ever say, look, I'm not happy, and it says, you're obviously not happy, it's because your mother never loved you.
Weaponizer.
Avele athi wena vele uzofila safe kanjani ubaba wakho wakushiya wena
wena uyi-creator of the atomic bomb.
Oh my God, no further elaboration.
I'm not gonna explain further.
Done and dusted. Once baqala ukungidayela using my wounds against me, sniff, there's nothing to talk about. So that is our boundaries. It's really important to have boundaries, as we said in the beginning. It physically and emotionally and mentally protects both parties.
Yes.
I don't have the chance to grab you with my arms.
Don't drag me back to a place where God.
Don't drag me where Jesus
died
me out of
to
take me out of. Let's not waste Jesus's blood. It can never be in vain. It can't be in vain. And so that's our episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Again, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at _Genesis Wholeness Wellness. Listen to our audio episodes on Spotify at Genesis Wholeness Wellness, the podcast. Nolu, where can people find you?
Lu_Nsala. I also want to say thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. 108 subscribers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank your mother. Thank your father. Thank everyone for you, Jesus. Because when you are alive because of your parents, you're a subscriber because of your parents. So thank them as well. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it.
We love you.
We would never be able. We would never be here without you.
Exactly. We do this mostly for us, but sometimes for you. Mostly for ourselves, but sometimes for you. So thank you so much for jumping on board and riding this wave with us.
We love
appreciate
you
guys so much. And that is the end. We love you. See you in our next one. Bye.